I'm on a mission to empower over 1 billion people to be happy. I teach people to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. Because I've never met anyone who makes a lot of money, helps a lot of people, has a lot of fun that isn't happy.
Welcome back to Innovate or Evaporate, where we explore the relentless pace of change and the innovators who drive it. I'm your host, Toph. We have David Meltzer with us today, a true titan in the world of business and personal development. He is also the chairman of Napoleon Hill Institute. As a co-founder of Sports One Marketing, host of the Playbook podcast, and a best-selling author, David has helped countless people connect to their true potential and achieve their dreams. We are going to discover the secrets to personal growth. David, thank you for coming and welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I know this is going to be a great conversation that hopefully will help other people through our own transparency and vulnerability.
Absolutely. We're here at Rally today, right? Rally year 3, all about creative curiosity. And you were on stage, right? Spreading the gospel. I like to say spreading the gospel and talking with a smaller group over here doing Q&A. So let's just go backwards for a moment and kind of set the stage. Where'd you grow up and in your early adult life, like where'd you kind of find your footing?
Yeah, it's interesting because I grew up in Akron, Ohio, not too far from here. And my dad left when I was 5. So I had this incredible mom who raised 6 kids, 5 boys and 1 girl. And I always say, people say, man, because my siblings are incredible. They went to Harvard, Penn, Columbia, graduated summa cum laude. My mom's message of doctor, lawyer, failure resonated. Fetus wasn't fully developed till after graduate school. Education was everything because she was a second grade teacher who packed our dinner in a paper bag, drove us around in a Country Squire station wagon while she filled up turnstiles at convenience stores with greeting cards just so we could eat. So the success of my siblings and I, people always say, well, what did your mom teach you? I said, my mom, wasn't really taught by my mom. I caught what my mom was doing.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
I watched her. Even later in my life, my mom recently passed. I'm a 57-year-old mama's boy. Sorry, I love my mom and I love my wife. You'll hear this throughout the whole thing, but I caught so much by watching her. And she walked the walk, both in wisdom and in faith. And that was how I grew up. Yet I only wanted to be rich. Because the only time I wasn't happy with this extraordinary family was when there was financial problems, which was often. Yeah. Things break. Yeah. You can't afford opportunities and options. Yep. When you're young especially, I talk about the comparison's the thief of joy. So joy was taken from me because I always was comparing myself to what everybody else had.
Interesting.
And I thought, well, they must be happy. Their dad's a doctor. They have a Mercedes. And I wanted to prove, that was my chip on my shoulder. And so everything for me, my identity and the pursuit of my potential was based off of my bank account. I was going to be rich to buy my mom a house and a car and create financial security for my family.
That's amazing. I grew up on a farm, and we were poor, particle board floor, and I just remember just when we would get off the farm, on a school bus or something, and if we went to the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago or Connors Prairie in Indianapolis, and I would just look at these buildings and be like, who are these people? Like, what do they do? How do they get there? What if I could wear a tie to work someday? Like, I'd never dressed like this, by the way, and I didn't stick on a tie. Yeah. But like, I just want to wear a sweatshirt and a t-shirt.
Join me.
Right? So what was your first thing that where you took that first step then to try to build, to start to build personal wealth and be on your own? Yeah,
so originally it was to be a professional football player. Don't laugh.
Hey, a lot of pro football players, they're about our size. Yeah, they got more muscle and speed.
Exactly. They're more talented.
Right.
But I did play in college, joking around. I was a below average college football player. But what I learned playing football throughout my life has helped me more than anything else. It's an incredible experience to play a sport, a team sport, and try doing your best, learning lessons and having fun, learning to love what you don't like or love about what you love the most. That's how I explain it. But when I realized my freshman year in college, I got ran over by Christian Okoye, the Nigerian nightmare.
Right.
I remember lying on my back. He actually stepped on me. I remember lying on my back.
Just for emphasis.
Thinking doctor, lawyer, failure. And so I ended up wanting to be a doctor to make money. Not because I wanted to help people. In fact, I went to go see my brother who was a doctor, and he's like, what's the matter? I said, I hate hospitals. I was 18. He's like, you want to be a doctor, bro? This is a hospital. There's no way around it. I'm like, I'm going to be a sports doctor. Locker rooms and sidelines. He goes, you're an idiot. But he gave me this great piece of advice. He goes, David, you need to be more interested than interesting. And so I took, all of a sudden, a more intentional approach, gave me Think and Grow Rich, which Napoleon Hill wrote, which is about intention, definiteness of purpose. And so I thought my purpose was to make a lot of money to provide financial security for my family. So I went to law school because oil and gas litigators, I went to Tulane Law School specifically because they made the most money. and Tulane was the best place to go if you wanted to be an oil and gas litigator, right. Well known for it. I was very intentional. Ironically, because I was intentional about making a lot of money, I didn't go into law. I got 1992, $150,000 a year job offer plus bonus to be at a law firm. I also got a sales job offer selling, you got to be a lawyer, selling legal research on the internet, and it was a $250,000 a year.
What year was this?
1992.
Wow, this is the very beginning.
Beginning of the internet. So here's what's so funny. My mom is like, you need to be a real lawyer. The internet's a fad. It's never going to last.
Right.
You're making the biggest mistake. I'm like,
this email thing that's coming out, who's going to use that?
Internet, never. Here's what's funny. I told my mom, okay, I'll take the bar in case you're right. I can always go back and be a lawyer.
Yeah.
But this opportunity is only going to come once. This internet thing, Mom, it's going to be a big deal. Right? 9 months out of law school, millionaire. In 1995, we exited. We sold West Publishing, West Law, to Thomson Reuters for $3.4 billion. My life changed.
Did you get any action back then?
I did. And
that is awesome.
Not life.
You hit it just right.
I hit it right. And the thing is, I thought it was luck. I ended up going up to the Silicon Valley, learning about venture capital, learning about more technology, leveraged that brand into being CEO of Samsung's first data phone. So I was CEO of Samsung's in 1999, already a multimillionaire, married my dream girl, but I had moved from this not enough world, you talked about how you grew up,
right,
into this new world of for me, not to me. Nothing was happening to me, but for me, everything was I thought I was a humanitarian and positive, but what I was doing was buying stuff I didn't need to impress people I didn't like. I was so obsessed on money that I was worth over $100 million at 31 years old. I would look at my bank account every day. If it went up $100, I would be happy. If it went down 100, I'd feel like a loser. That's how much my identity was tied to money.
Yeah.
But as my faith would progress, I had some lessons to learn, and no better way to make God laugh than come up with a well-developed plan or think you know what you know.
Oh, absolutely.
You're either humble or you're about to be.
Yes.
I was about to be.
Yeah, we plan, God laughs.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So we talked a little bit before we started this podcast, and so we're going to go on a little bit of a different journey that we've never done on this podcast.
Cool.
And so with those things you're talking about, let's dive into faith. And when did faith become a part of your life? Was it early on, or was it later in life?
Faith has played a different role throughout the journey. Beginning of life, my mom, extremely religious, so faith was forced.
Yep.
And I was resistant, kind of like you.
Yep.
I actually, in my entire life, would go to religious things on the holidays because I loved my mom and respected her so much, but I never felt connected to it.
Yep.
And so here's a real interesting story. I went through the motions of having faith. Never want to disrupt it, never want to tell people how I really felt.
Yes.
But something happened in my life that changed my faith, and I'll tell you what happened. I was running the most notable sports agency in the world, Leigh Steinberg Sports and Entertainment.
Yep.
They made the movie Jerry Maguire about our firm.
Yes.
So not only was I a multimillionaire, but I had access to what billionaires still couldn't afford to do. Back cabins at the Masters, stages at the Oscars.
All the good stuff.
All the good stuff. Unfortunately, I was surrounding myself with the wrong people, the wrong ideas. I ended up losing everything. While I was running the notable sports agency, over $100 million, went bankrupt. Unfortunately, I also lost my mom's home. I forgot to take my name off of the title. They foreclosed on my mom's home. I had to tell my mom not only that I lost everything, but she had to move. I lost her home. So you can imagine. I go to the door like a 4-year-old. I can't talk. You know, when your 4-year-old's so upset, they,
right. Yeah.
What's the matter? That's how I was, but I was older. And my mom's like, what's the matter? Are you okay? Is my wife Julie? Is Julie okay? Are the kids okay? Tell me, talk to me. And all I could do is like whimper.
Oh my gosh.
Finally, I blurted out like a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
I lost everything, including your home, Mom. I'm so sorry. You have to move. They're foreclosing on your house. And she goes, oh my goodness. Are you okay? Do you need some money?
Wow.
And I'm like, Mom, I lost it.
Did you not
didn't hear
what
me.
I just said? Right?
No, I heard you, sweetheart. What can I do to help you? Help me? I'm screwed. I go, why am I being punished? I've tried to do my best, like you said, learn lessons, have fun. I've never, ever intentionally tried to hurt anyone.
Right.
Why would God do this to me? Why would he punish me, Mom? And my mom said, oh, God doesn't punish. He only promotes and protects. I said, well, then I don't believe in God. My mom smirked. I'm crying. I'm still getting choked up thinking of the day. She smirks at me and says, oh, sweetheart, you believe in God. You just believe in the wrong God. I want you to take stock in who you were and what you want to become. God's protecting you. He's promoting you. She knew that I was surrounding the wrong ideas and the wrong people. She knew I was using drugs and alcohol. She knew I wasn't being a good husband or a father because of it. Thinking that just because I had a lot of money, she knew all these things, and she knew the only way I would be saved was for it all to be taken away. So did God. And so my faith started there 18 years ago when I lost everything. Because I had this incredible mom and wife. It was funny, there was a time 2 years before I lost everything, my wife was leaving me and, told me I was going to end up dead. And gave me an ultimatum. And I started my journey, but without faith of having the right behaviors at least.
Yeah.
This was, to me, the change. And I told you, I'm on the Aspire Business Tour. There's David Goggins, Gary Vee, me, Kevin O'Leary, who's here.
Yep.
We're all every month together, but they've given me a platform to not just talk about business advice, but to talk about not only the wisdom, but the faith. Because it's wisdom and faith that shortens the distance of resistance that human beings put on what the ultimate power they have, which is their faith. And so I'm probably one of the most faith-based business leaders in the world.
You're going to make me emotional. I just learned, and I just told you before we started the podcast, right? I got baptized. Maybe I was baptized as a baby. I don't remember. Right. But I got baptized with my son on Easter of this year. And, as we mentioned, I grew up poor with no money. I worked myself out of that, and just a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and putting one foot in front of the other. And I thought I did that.
Right.
And I didn't know until literally 6 months ago, 5, whatever it is, I didn't do that. God did that, and He was
commanded.
with me.
He's working with you.
Yes, and my entire mindset, the aperture of how I view the world, of how I view God, I just can't. It's just changed drastically. And my mindset, just when you deal with your day-to-day, things, the fire pops up or whatever. I've always been somewhat, sometimes I have my flare-up moments, but like anybody does probably.
Yeah, minutes and moments.
Right? But this last 5 months, I've just had I can't describe the depth of stillness that I feel.
I get it.
It's just amazing.
I got to share a story with you. So when my wife, the night that she told me she was leaving and she wasn't happy, which was a big surprise to me, and it shouldn't have been. I lied to her. I told her that I was going to a business meeting because she had told me I was going to the Grammy Awards with Little John, the rapper.
Yep.
And she said, you're not paying attention to the family, your business, and you're partying way too hard. I'm worried about you. Stay at home. I stayed out till 5:30 in the morning, came home wasted, where she was waiting for me. When she said, I'm leaving you, you need to literally work on yourself. You're going to end up dead, and I don't want my 3 daughters who are under 10 to see it. I love you more than anything, so I'm leaving you. I put my arms out like this and spun around and looked at her and said, look at everything around you. Who do you think did all of this? Who do you think? And she said, you're lost. I woke up the next morning hating. I hated my mom, my dad, my best friend, and my wife, because they were the only 4 people that were being honest with me and telling me the truth.
Right.
And I knew they were being honest.
They love you the most.
And I realized as I sat there on my bed that I don't hate any of them, that I hated myself. I was a liar, a cheater, a manipulator, overseller, back-end seller. I hated myself. Even though I was rich, even though I had this wonderful life, I hated myself. And it wasn't until I built the behaviors to open my eyes and elevate my awareness to faith.
Yes.
And you talk about this ease. I have a simple philosophy. I help people with being at ease, with inspiration, intuition, and intelligence flowing through them by identifying what they're doing to put themselves at dis-ease. See, I believe my faith is based off of the fact that there's something bigger than me that's omniscient, all-knowing, all-powerful, loves me, protects me, promotes me, perfects me more than my mom. I'm just interfering with it. So if I don't have enough energy, what am I doing to interfere with my energy? If I don't have enough intelligence, what am I doing to interfere with it? And so I use my faith aligned with my behaviors to quantify, take inventory in myself of illustrate your faith. You know what some of the biggest things that show faith are? Receiving and asking for more. You see, most people, like my mom, feel resentful and guilty receiving. If you give more than you receive, you're going to end up with 0. God does not want you with 0. He's an abundant God with more than enough of everything for everyone. So when you say yes to receiving stuff, receiving is a constituted illustration of faith, because you're making someone else feel unbelievably well, because when you're able and capable of helping someone, that's when we feel our best. And you're denying people that. Or when you ask for more for the sake of giving more, once again, you're showing your faith that I believe in a God that is abundant. He has more than enough. Why wouldn't I ask for more, especially for the sake of helping others?
Wow, that's powerful. I hadn't thought about a couple of things like that. I was mentioning earlier a group here in town, Citizen 7, and Don Palmer and a gentleman named Greg Enos started it, and it's a men's group, and it's faith-based, and they just do an amazing job of just bringing all types of men together organically, and there's a little bit of light programming around it, but it's one of the favorite things I love about it is nobody in there is looking like to sell you something. Like you're just there for authentic reasons to build relationships, in all with the North Star of God, but then they always throw out a few questions physically, like they'll little slips of paper, and I'll throw those on the table, and there might be, in some of these gatherings, there might be 100 people, or more, and then they'll break you up into groups of 3 to 5 or whatever. They'll throw these questions out, and sometimes it could be as simple as, what was the favorite Christmas gift you ever received? By the way, mine is a book of Lifesavers. So, anybody ever out there want to send me a Christmas present, you can send me a book of Lifesavers, and I'll be on cloud 9.
Give me a gift certificate to Shapiro's Deli.
There you
That'd
go.
be mine.
Where's the best deli in the world?
Shapiro's in Indy, believe it or not. I'm dead serious, dude.
That's awesome.
I could eat it every day.
The pastrami and rye, pastrami and Swiss on rye.
Oh.
It's amazing. And or it could be what was the most difficult in your life moment in your life, or whatever. They get really deep. And when men from all races and backgrounds, etc., start talking about these questions, I mean the bonds you just create, because we're all human.
Yeah.
And the way men interact with one another is different than women, and the way men and women interact is different. And it's like, so it's okay to have that time together, to bond on a deeper level, and at the end of the day, it makes us better followers of God. It makes us better husbands. It makes us better friends. All those things. How do you think about the idea of faith and men and those types of things?
Yeah, I think it's a really important question to ask, because there's a lot of confusion about appreciation. See, people are different. Men are different than women. They should have equal opportunity, but they're not equal. They're different. And we spend so much time trying to be equal instead of appreciating our differences.
Our differences.
And how we appreciate our differences is to get together and to share our experiences. And when you can get a collective consciousness like you have there at your group, where you have a bunch of people that are here solely to help one another and know people to help one another.
Yes.
It's a secret to life. It's what Napoleon Hill called a mastermind. It's written in Think and Grow Rich, Outwitting the Devil. When you get a well-intended group of people together, you create a higher consciousness.
Yes.
Because you prove that we're all one, that we all are different pieces of oneness. But today, most of the problems in America are because we are trying to prove that we're equal instead of appreciating our differences in order to provide equal opportunity.
Yes, and celebrating what everybody brings to the table, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
And that includes politics, religion, sexes, colors. We're all different in these ways, but we can appreciate. And one of the best ways that I've learned to appreciate differences is to ask a simple question. Don't go to facts. Facts, especially today, are so easy to manufacture. Ask someone how they feel. You listen to them and say, well, how does that make you feel? And when you can understand...
Because that's their fact, right?
Yeah. You don't need to argue facts. I want to know how you feel and what can I do to make you feel better. I don't care about your facts. I don't need to watch different news stations to get different... I just care, how do you feel and how can I make you feel better? Would it help you if I did this? Give you more of what you like, take away what you don't like. Give you more of what works, take away what you don't work.
Right.
Give you more of what you know, take away what you don't know. These are ways that we can provide real value to people. And so my faith is intertwined into differences that create the oneness that not only is our own humanity built on, but our country.
Yes.
It's called the United
States. Right.
It doesn't get any simpler than that.
Yeah.
And so if I can help people through my faith, through these groups, to encourage them to join people that are different in different ways and the same in different ways, and just realize that if we appreciate our differences, there'll be more options and opportunities for everyone, and everyone should have equal opportunity no matter what, but we're not the same. I'm sorry, and we're not equal.
Yeah, that's amazing. We talked earlier about, so you had this moment, this turning point with your wife. You've been married for 28 years.
28 years.
Which is just awesome. It's amazing. How did you come back from that? What were the steps?
So I also joked
linear.
with you
Right.
that I believe everyone's married 3 times in their life.
Yes. Yeah.
Sometimes you're lucky like me to be the same person.
Right.
So number one thing I did is I looked within me. You know, I wasn't going to heal my marriage by blame, shame, and justification.
Yeah.
What did I do to be responsible for this? What did I do to attract this to myself? What did I do to participate in this perception? Which was the biggest one. One of the things that I realized that people do is they look for what they don't want, what's missing, and what they don't have. And then they end up getting what's missing, what they don't have, and what they don't want. Or what other people want for them.
Right.
And so when I shifted my perspective of my marriage, knowing how much I've loved my wife since the 4th grade. My best friend Rob asked my wife at 6th grade camp, because I was too chicken, to go steady. That means to go
like the
go
7th
out.
grade dances when it's boys and girls on the other side.
Yeah, that's
right?
me.
That's awesome.
And she embarrassed me because, and she told him no, tell him to ask me himself, and then he yelled out and embarrassed me. So I threw an egg at her. So I had a lot of work to do to recover.
Yeah.
But when I started, the appreciation process that we talked about, and I started looking for what I did want from my wife.
Yeah.
You know, I joked around and said, I used to look for the B in my wife, the B word. Once I started looking for the queen, I was married to a queen. I get choked up because my wife saved my life. My wife, I am just so blessed that not only did I have the opportunity and be able to convince her to marry me, but she stayed with me and I could convince her to do so. Here's how wise my wife is. When I begged her to give me a second chance, I begged her to stay. I begged her to stay married to me. I promised that I would change. She didn't say, if I catch you drinking, it's done. If I catch you using drugs, it's done. If I catch you at a strip club, it's over. What she said to me was, look, you better do your best. You better try. If I see you're not trying, I know mistakes happen. I know you're in situations in your business that there's this stuff and you might slip, but if you're not trying, I'm out of here. It changed my whole perspective. she loved me so much and knew and looked for what she wanted in me, not for what she didn't want, that I should be able to do the same. And, it's amazing how many things that can I share a quick story? Because
yes.
All husbands, this is a really interesting husband problem. I went to go celebrate my 28th anniversary and my wife's birthday in Italy just last week. And we went all over Italy, and I bought her, to show her how much I love and appreciate her, a beautiful necklace in Italy. When we were leaving on the train to Rome airport, she looked sick. And I said, what's the matter? She goes, I left the necklace in Capri in the room. I put it in the bag, but I put the bag in the other bag, the bigger shopping bag, and I didn't take it out. My immediate reaction, and I didn't talk, but my head, are you effing kidding me? You stupid. Like, this is what I'm thinking. And the old David would have said it. And I would have ruined the most fulfilling, passionate vacation I've ever had with my wife. And expensive, by the way.
Right.
But I would have ruined it by reacting in that way. But instead, I just stopped. And I said, you know what? I'm anal retentive, OCD. I always check the room. I'm so sorry. I checked the room. I didn't see it. It's my fault. When we get home, can I buy you another necklace? She started to cry. On the plane, she was teary-eyed looking at me. And I said, what? She goes, I just want to thank you for having my back. I just love you so much and know how much you love me. Thank you. So we get home after a long trip, obviously. She's unpacking. She finds the necklace.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm thinking to myself, I am so full of grace. Imagine if I would have said what I thought initially out of fear, anger, all the dumb things husbands do. I would have ruined the vacation over nothing, ruined everything. And she would think differently of me than what I intended her to think, which is, I love and appreciate you so much, right? That's all I wanted to do by buying her the necklace. And I would have ruined that. And instead, these are the third marriage things that I do now that turn into the most beautiful, wonderful things by taking the circumstances that used to ruin our trips and our relationship and now make it that much better.
So, no doubt, 99% of the audience listening to this has similar stories that we've talked about.
Yeah.
That we all go through.
At a minimum.
At a minimum. 0.999.
Yeah.
Actually, it's probably 100%.
Yeah.
And sometimes people have a really difficult time, breaking through, like taking that next step towards grace of whatever form that grace needs to be. Are there any thoughts or stories or methodologies or people that you consulted and went to, or what advice or experience sharing would you give to people that are not quite breaking through, of bending that curve to the positive?
I had some great mentors, people like Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, Outwitting the Devil, people like Bob Proctor, people like Dr. Wayne Dyer, Tony Robbins.
Yep.
Just mostly mindset people that helped me have this correct mindset. But where it really changed is I studied Einstein. And it was really interesting because my life changed by actually studying Einstein, because Einstein had two capabilities that most human beings did not have. One is he understood time better than anyone, scientific time, and he also understood relativity, how meaning that God gives us a power to give meaning to everything we see. I tell people all the time, you need a divine direction, but it's the meaning you give your past that will make all the detours divine and set you back on the right divine path. And we're limited only by the meaning we give our past, the failures, the setbacks, the mistakes, defining moments, historical relevances. If we align the meaning of those things with where we want to be and not limit ourselves, because you'll never overachieve your own self-image. And the meaning you give the past limits your self-image. You beat yourself up, you feel guilty, resentful, all these things that stop us from being at our best self. And so find people to understand two things to study: time and relativity. Because for me, the time aspect is through the studies of Einstein, I realized my personal human experience, my life, starts when my heart starts and stops when my heart stops.
Yeah.
And it's separated by a gift God gives everyone. It's the only common denominator that we all have in that experience, 24 hours a day. It's the only certainty. Every day of your life, God gives it to you, except for the last day, he'll cheat you. That's his guarantee. So when I realized, what meaning am I giving that 24 hours every day? Am I spending a minimum amount of time on my sleep, my health, my family, my faith, my finance, the study of time and study of relativity?
Yeah.
Then that was about 12 hours of my day. Non-negotiable. No matter what the interest rates are, the weather, the delay, no matter what, I'm going to get that 12 hours in of sleep, family, finance, fitness, faith, relativity, and time. That means for the rest of the awake time, the other 12 hours, I can do whatever I want, really, because 90% of my progress will come from the non-negotiable behaviors, which, by the way, those behaviors are quite eloquently articulated in the Bible. Yes. Your Bible, whatever Bible you read, I promise you, they will tell you the behaviors that are most important. Let me hit you on the health side, by the way, because if you're healthy, you get as many wishes as you want. If you're unhealthy, you get one wish. So in the idea of the heart starting and stopping, I look to say, what stops my heart? If you don't breathe, your heart stops. If you don't eat, your heart stops. If you don't drink, your heart stops. If you don't sleep, your heart stops. And if you don't move, your heart stops. So if you're wondering where to start by non-negotiably making sure that you are breathing, eating, drinking, sleeping, and moving correctly. And get coaching and mentorship on those things first. Then worry about your family. Then work on your finance. And I promise you, you'll make a shitload of money, help a ton of people, and have a lot of fun.
So it's like the airplane oxygen mask.
For sure.
Right? If you don't put your oxygen on first, you can't do anything else.
No, you don't take care of yourself. You can't give. I'm going to repeat this. You cannot give what you don't have. So why wouldn't you want to have the most energy, intuition, intelligence, money, kindness? You can only give what you have. Why wouldn't you work on receiving all of that with the intention for the sake of giving it all away?
David, this is amazing. I love it. I could talk to you for like 6 days straight.
Vice versa.
This is amazing. Is there anything we haven't touched on today that you want to share with the audience?
I would love to share with the audience in the community that to reach out to me. I'm on a mission to empower over 1 billion people to be happy. I teach people to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun, because I've never met anyone who makes a lot of money, helps a lot of people, has a lot of fun that isn't happy. So I give my book, Connected to Goodness. I pay for the book. I pay for shipping. So if anyone in your audience will email me, david@dmeltzer.com, I'd love to sign a book, send it to you, and pay for shipping so that you can see the framework to make your own, so that you can live an inspiration, a faith, wise, wonderful, healthy, wealthy, worthy way of living. I tell people all the time, if you wake up every day and say, I am happy, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am worthy, what am I doing to interfere with it? You will gain the wisdom and faith to shorten the distance of resistance that you create in your own life.
Wow. I feel like a new man. This was amazing, David. Thank you so much for coming and spending time. I have dearly enjoyed getting to spend this time with you. Thank you for coming to Innovate or Evaporate. And where should people go again to reach out to you?
Email me directly, david@dmeltzer.com. If you forget that, just Google me. I'm blessed to have a huge following, David Meltzer.
That's awesome. Well, thank you very much, David. And until next time on Innovate or Evaporate, we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mayor Chris Jensen. Innovation doesn't always start where you expect. Across Indiana, a new kind of innovation ecosystem is taking shape, bringing together elite athletics, advanced engineering, healthcare, and next-generation manufacturing. And it's happening in Noblesville. Discover what's taking shape at choosenoblesville.com/innovate. Noblesville, all about you.